Hi there, Vicky here. So today I made my very own onion powder, and it all started back in the garden.
So I've decided that today is the day I'm going to pull up these onions. A couple reasons for this, but the primary is I'd like to use this bed for something else now. And the onions are so tall that when I try to plant something in the back of this bed, that it's going to shade it out. So here we go. Let's see what we got. I've never grown onions before. Oh, well, that's something. It's small. Lots of green onions, though, available for that. Okay, let's see the next one. Not having a whole lot of hope, but you never know. I started these from seeds. Ooh, hey, actual little onion. I started these from seeds in late January. Wow. Little something. Again, lots of green onions that I can use on these. And I could have let them keep growing, but ooh, this one might be a big one. Wow, look at that. Cool. Cool. All right, let me not fall over trying to get the rest of these up. This is going to be a small one, I think. Yeah. Okay. This one I think is my biggest one of all. Hey. All right. Are we ready to see it? Oh. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a big onion. I made that. I made that from nothing. Cool. Right on.
So I went ahead and took the onions inside. I did wash them up, and I just started slicing them because I didn't feel that I had enough to worry about trying to cure them and store them sort of as bulbs. So what I did is I just sliced up the white part of these onions and I popped those in a freezer bag for later use. I certainly have done this with store-bought onions, so why not do it with my own? In little ready-made diced pieces to toss into soups and stews or stir fries or just grilled onions. I mean, honestly, any sort of thing, I can use this. Once they freeze, which I obviously am not going to show here because it takes time, but once they freeze, one good like whack of the bag on the countertop and it will break apart into the individual pieces. So it's very easy to use them in that way. But I did peel the outermost skin off the onions just like I would when I buy them from the store. And for the green tops, I decided to cut them into chunks. And for the parts that were kind of white and kind of green, I cut them into smaller pieces. I got this dehydrator from my uncle. He was like cleaning up his house and he's like, "Hey, do you want a dehydrator?" And of course I said, "Yes, I would." And I washed it and it's certainly not perfect. In fact, I somehow managed to get the button stuck to on. So it's just got, I don't know, plugged in or not plugged in now. But hey, it did the job. So I'm pleased as punch with that. And I've never had a dehydrator before, so any suggestions that you guys might have on what else I should put in this, please let me know because I am super excited and eager to try it. So here I am just dicing up the next onion, and most of these others were quite small. I think these were the only two onions that had any size to them. What I've learned for next year is that I need to plant the onions in the back half of one of the beds. It might not need to be up top, it could be one of the bottom beds, but it needs to be on the back half. Or the whole bed could be onions. But whatever I tried to plant behind this did get kind of shaded out. So I think it just needs to be behind. And then I could probably leave it for the whole season and see just how big we can make them. But I'm just so pleased. I can't believe it. I started these from seeds. The sets, I think that's what you call them, that I got for the onions actually didn't grow well at all. A part of that was definitely my neglect. Oh, there were tears. There were tears. I had to use a little reusable paper towel there. But I part of why the sets that I planted didn't work out was definitely my neglect, okay? I admit that I did not water them very much because they were in the front yard, and I had a misconception that they were covered by some like drip irrigation that when we built when we bought our house, the builder had put in on that front bed, but clearly it just didn't cut it. And because I never hand watered it, I think those plants really suffered. Um, but that's okay. I have learned what I think I will do sort of long term is put blueberry bushes in that part of the yard, which after they get well established, I shouldn't need to water very much, I don't think. But even if I do need to continue to water them thoroughly, I think I will be more motivated to care for blueberries, which is something that we love. And I might do a better job at remembering that as opposed to the onions, which never got big enough to really be memorable. So it just kind of was something I kept forgetting about. But that's a future Vicky item. So once I got all of these chopped, I did struggle, having never used a dehydrator, in figuring out exactly how to use it and what to do. So I don't have the instruction manual, of course, and it just said to always put the smooth side up. And I gotta say, I didn't know what that meant. So I just took my best guess and I started arranging them because I did know at least that they all need to be in a single layer, not like massively overlapping or anything. So I just started laying out my little green onion pieces so that I could get them crispy. And I found that if I tried, I could fit a lot more in it. So here I was trying to put on the next one, and it just didn't seem like it felt right. So here I am just feeling it, trying to figure out what the heck it meant by smooth side up. And I decided I must have it the wrong way. So I just stacked them on top of each other to flip it to make it easy. And then I'm like, okay, this has got to be right. We're doing it. Sometimes you just kind of have to figure it out and see what works and what doesn't work. And I think, at least now in hindsight, having finished this project, I do know better how to do the dehydrator, but that does not mean that I won't be struggling again the next time I use it. I finally figured out that I wouldn't have to reach all the way across the whole countertop if I just moved the cut pieces closer to me. What a novel concept. So I did. And then, oop, that wasn't right. Oh, here I go again, questioning it. It's like how does this go? And I'm sure for those of you and I'm like, that wasn't it. That's not right. I'm sure for those of you who have used dehydrators, especially if you've used them extensively, you're probably finding this very entertaining. And all I can say is same. Okay, it was very entertaining for me as well as I continued to just struggle over and over to get this right. There we go, flip it again. Put my hand on my hip and everything. Like, how is this supposed to work? I'm like, that can't be it. Anywho, I continued to load up these trays. And wow. So, I am continuing to arrange. And this is about when I realized that I had a lot more little onion pieces than what I was going to fit on these trays. So, I started going, through each one to figure out, okay, exactly how many more can I fit on here without overcrowding it. I did decide I could fit quite a few more. So I snuck it in everywhere I could find an empty spot. I think if I am going to do this again, or rather when I do this again, I will be a lot less delicate with placing these on there. Honestly, I think it will probably be totally fine if I just kind of heap them on in an even layer. So I think that is what I will do. Oh, I felt like I had it wrong again. Oh gosh, there I am feeling for the smooth part again. I just can't even make this up. I struggled. So on this tray, I put a lot of those transition pieces between the white and the green onions. And then I ended up just kind of filling in any little holes that I saw with the rest because I was determined to get this all in one load. Determined. I just really wanted it to work out. So I was finally kind of happy with how that was looking, but it still just didn't feel right. I thought that there needed to be a lot more airflow than what I was seeing when the trays were like really stacked on top of each other. So I decided to take them all off and put this last one on. And I mean, for those of you who are more familiar with dehydrators, please let me know. But I feel like I finally, after switching it around, half a dozen times, I feel like I finally did get this in the right orientation of how it was supposed to work. Please let me know if this looks right. I feel like this was right. But then I popped the lid on, and since I broke the button, since it was plugged in, it was already on. There was nothing else to do. So I popped the lid on and I closed up the bag for my white onions, pushing out as much air as I could. And then I did go ahead and label that with the contents and the date. That's what I always do. And then I got that off to the freezer, rather.
So this has been going for a couple of hours with the lid on. Obviously, I just took the lid off to see where we're at. But this is my first time dehydrating anything in this type of thing. And listen, Like it's already getting a little crispy. Obviously it needs to go for longer. But wow, that's so cool. Yeah, how fun. Some of these are not ready at all, but that is so cool. This was really fast. My goodness. Okay, better put the lid back on so it does its thing. But yay, that was neat. Oh man, I'm gonna love making stuff in this season. Anyone who has recommendations on what I should try dehydrating, please let me know. I am beyond excited about this. Okay, so these have been going for quite a while, probably 9 hours. Oh yeah, yay, or so altogether. Now I did do some last night, and then I turned it off because I didn't trust it. And then I did more today. Yeah, some of those aren't quite. I'm checking to see just how dry. The thicker pieces I don't think are quite dry yet. Although, wow. Isn't that cool? Sorry. Okay. So I think these are done. Let's just look at the other trays real quick. Yeah, if anything, this tray I think is the one that needs a little more time. So maybe what I'll do is, ooh, okay. We'll turn it off. And we will take all the ones that are definitely done and go ahead and put them in the blender. I'm so excited. And I'm just gonna use my little blender cup because I don't think that I have enough to warrant the big blender. I do wonder if I should wait till these cool off. They're not hot, but I don't want any steam to like, I don't know. I guess if they're dry, there is no steam, right? And I think I'm gonna put the chunky ones back on this and just let them go a little longer. Wow. This is so cool. I should probably not be so easily impressed. Tons of people dehydrate stuff. This is just my first time. And it is so cool. I mean, look at that. It's like crispy. Wow. These down here at the bottom are definitely a little more crispy, I think, than the ones that were in the top. Wow. This is so cool. I might have made more than I thought. Oh my gosh. Which is great. I mean, I use onion powder a lot. Let me see how it tastes. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Wow. Let me describe the flavor because it's definitely not like onion powder. It definitely is oniony, but it, to me, is almost a little more reminiscent of cooked onions. Like it's got that kind of char sort of flavor. Maybe that's the brown. Maybe I did it a little too long, but it's definitely not just onion powder. But wow, is that tasty. Yum. I'm hooked. I'm definitely going to be happy to have this in my food. Honestly, that was really good just by itself. It's crisp. But it's airy. It's like almost like a little onion chip. That's great. That's a delight. Let's see what else is left. We need to do that one some more. There's probably quite a few that need a little bit more on this one. I think, do I need to blend or just squish? Maybe I'll squish. Okay. Nope, that one was dry. This is so fun. So that one that was really green just has a mild onion flavor, a little more vegetal. Ooh, these are a fun snack. I wonder what else I can dehydrate. Why do I feel like I'm getting ready to dehydrate a whole bunch of random stuff just to see if it turns out good? Anywho, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll bring y'all back when I have the powder. All right, got everything in there, and I turned these last little bits back on for a little while. Let's go blend it. All right. Oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing. Look, oh my gosh. Wow. Looks like matcha, but it's not. So I always do a, first in, first out kind of policy. So I'm gonna dump the little bit that was left of my onion powder, and then I will refill with this. All right. You can do it. Oh, it's so fine. Well, I did blend it a lot. All right. Look at that. Look at that. There are some larger pieces. I'm not worried. That is so cool. Man, I'm proud of this. That's mine. I made it. There's still a little left too. I think I'm gonna start another jar. There wasn't enough for another jar, but now I've got a cool little artifact. I don't know. I'm excited. This turned out really great. Man, I can't wait to use it. All right, the first recipe I'm gonna have these on today. I'm using it. I'm using it on these chicken legs. Oh my gosh. So pretty. It's definitely not as easy to get out. But cool.